Welcome to Community Restorative. And today we are focusing on a sequence to massage into the heart area, into the upper back, and breathing techniques for and awarenesses for the heart space. We'll start out actually in a supported child's pose. So you can support your head with a block or a blanket or a pillow, or you can go all the way down. So whichever, we won't stay super long here. And as you stay, see what you can feel about the breath moving into the middle back, the back of the heart. So we'll take a few breaths, just centering ourselves, noticing how the breath is moving into this space, into the middle back. And in some meditation traditions, it's considered also the base of the heart, the root of the heart. So resting here for a few breaths. And then we're actually going to start little gentle movements first before we do the self-massage. So from here, you can lower your elbows all the way down if they're not all the way down. And your forearms can be parallel with each other. And you can look past your fingers. And then you can pull with your hands. So there's a pull action. And this will help you to move forward. And there's like a little mini back bend in your middle back. And then you can push up into all fours and then continue pushing through your fingertips and round in that middle back, high part of the middle back, and then move back into child's pose. So basically a cat-cow version that really gets movement into this thoracic hinge where the back of the heart is. And you pull as you move forward. So there's a mini stretch in the front of the heart. You push and you round. So there's a stretch towards the back of the heart. And you can inhale as you move forward. Then exhale as you push back. And after a few rounds like that, you can switch the pattern. You can exhale as you pull. And you can inhale as you push. And then notice how the organization of the breathing changes what you feel about the movement of the breath. And then we'll come on to all fours and stay there. And we'll add in a rotation. So the thread the needle and you can lift that right arm. You can rotate in that middle back area. And then when you exhale, you can slide that arm underneath the shoulder and turn your head over to the left. Support your shoulder and your head with your props if they don't go all the way to the floor. When you're here, pull that right shoulder down away from your ear. And then you have the option with the top hand. It could be active. It could be pushing into the ground to deepen the twist. It could be forward. It could be stretching to your low back. It could be reaching up. So you can play around with that left arm positioning as you like. And then take another breath into that middle back space. See if you can get a sense of your breath expanding there. And then slowly use your left hand to rise back into all fours. We'll do the second side. So you can lift that left arm, find your rotation, and then thread the needle. coming down, supporting your head, your shoulder if you like. And then your choice with that right arm. And the bottom arm to stretch the side of the neck, you can pull the shoulder down. Then we'll slowly push out of this twist, and then you can land onto your back. And now we'll grab the role model method balls, and we will massage out the upper back. So I prefer doing this with the balls out of the tote. There's a little bit more movement with the balls, and for me it feels better to have a little bit more movement. And if this cut becomes too intense on the floor, you're welcome to go to a wall as well and massage your upper back out at the wall. Okay, so first positioning is the two balls are on your upper spine, right below the base of your neck, one on either side. And then support your head as you need to. And as you land here, maybe placing a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. This is the touch helps us to sense into our body better, as well as the touch there. It's pretty intense. I am actually using brand new balls because the dog ate my other pair. Landing here and just noticing what's present. And then when you're ready to move, we'll start in a subtle way. So you can move from the pelvis to get the spinal movement all the way up. So as you inhale, you can tilt your pelvis forward, your low back arch increases. When you exhale, you can press your low back down into the floor. And you'll feel how this rubs the balls a little bit up and down this upper back area. And then you can listen to your body. So when you press your low back down, some of us might want to increase that C curve. And so if you want to increase that C curve, you can support your head up and continue to press your low back down and let your tailbone curl away from the floor. And then when you inhale and you lower back down, you can arch the low back. And then maybe it feels good as you're in the arch position to kind of shimmy a little bit side to side so that the balls roll a little bit side to side as well. Other movements we can do here is to elevate one of the arms and then switching the arms. And I'm now rotating the head away from the top arm, and then I'm actually continuing that pelvic tilt as I move the arms and turn the head. And now I'm adding in a side bend as I reach my right arm up. I'm kind of also side bending over to the left. So adding in little variations and movements as it feels good for your body. And then we'll push into the feet and move up on the balls and allow the balls to roll down about an inch or so that we're feeling like it's maybe touching around the top of the shoulder blades. And it's pretty intense. Again, you can put softer padding underneath you to eat up some of the pressure if it's super intense. And then come to your breathing first. Work at a comfortable level of pressure for your body. We'll take the arms out in a cactus position with the elbows bent here. And the higher you lift it towards the shoulder, the more pressure, and the lower that you have it towards your hips, the less pressure. Maybe a little bit different kind of pressure. And then you can flip the back of your arm. You can lower the back of your hands and arms towards the floor here. And then when you exhale, you can lower the palm down towards the hip. So it's kind of like you're swiveling your arms towards external rotation when you drop the back of the hand down. And then you're swiveling your arm in internal rotation when you drop the palm down. Good. And then next time when you have the palms down, add in again a little sideways shimmy. And then we'll push down into the feet and we'll again move up or on the balls so that the balls move down. And then you can land so that they feel like they're right in the middle of your scapula and you can hug yourself. As you hug yourself, you can add in either leaning to one side or you can add in wiggling, side bending to scrub the balls in this middle back area. We'll lower the arms and you can also add in snow angel here with the balls in that middle part of the scapula, sliding the arms upward towards your head in any amount and sliding the arms downwardly. That's pretty intense. It was like a major clunk in the middle right there. So maybe a few slides, and if you need to, you can bend the elbows to make it more comfortable, or I'm feeling like in this area where it's super intense, I'm gonna flip my palms down instead. Good. And then last place is we're going all the way towards that kind of bra strap area where it feels like it's poking our lower ribs up. So we'll basically slide the balls down off of the shoulder blades towards the bottom rib area. And then you can come back to that pitchfork position and breathe into here. And find your rib breath when you inhale, expanding through the ribs. And then when you exhale, allowing the space to soften. Your choice. If you want to increase the pressure, you could choose to do, you can roll up on the exhale, and then you can come all the way down as well. I'm enjoying just breathing here. Take another breath, whichever variation that you're doing, and then you can roll. Once you're ready, you can roll off of the balls. And we are going to remove them from the back. Take a moment and just receive the impression from that massage through the upper back. And then to rub out the chest area, I'm just going to guide us lying down here using the balls and just manually rolling with the hands. If you would like to increase the pressure and you're motivated to come up, you could come up and lean your chest into the wall with the ball there and do similar movements. Leaning into the wall is going to increase the pressure. First place here is you can grab the ball and hold it with your right hand and place the ball underneath your left collarbone. And you can guide the ball down into the subclavius and the pecs. So those are the muscles that are there. And see if you can find your breath here with this sustained compression. And then when you're ready to roll, you can roll underneath the collarbone. And you can even, like sometimes I start to go off of the subclavius and, all the way uh, towards the underneath that bone on the front of the shoulder, that carrot process. And so you can start to make circles, roll around the two pectoralis muscles here, and then also intend for the balls to massage between the ribs here. And then go towards center where the ribs attach towards your sternum and massage in that joint between the ribs and the sternum. And then go on the sternum itself, and the heart is behind here. And it's surprising the amount of tension that we can have in these tissues right on the sternum. And then continue your exploration throughout this left side of your chest. So I'm going from sternum all the way out to the far end of the ribs and all around on the front here. Then just take a moment and pause and feel, noticing any difference in the capacity of your breathing through left side and right side. We'll do the second side, and if you like, you can switch the balls so that we have this habit of rotating the balls, like rotating tires, so we wear the balls down evenly. And again, you can place the ball underneath your collarbone right in the middle and guide the ball into this area with both hands or sustained pressure. And then keep that sustained pressure as you find your breath. Your pace, your timing, just sensing how the breath lifts this area, sensing the quality of the tissues here. And when you're ready to introduce the roll, use your opposite hand and roll the ball side to side underneath your clavicle first. And then again, your pace, your timing, start to explore all the neighboring tissues here. So lower down, you'll have the pectoralis major and minor, and then deeper to those muscles are the intercostals, the muscles between your ribs. And then going down towards the lower ribs and onto the chest and over to the median side where the ribs attach to your sternum, and rub out the tissue there. And then onto the sternum all around the heart area. Okay. And then release the balls and take a moment to feel your heart space, the front side, the back side. Feel the natural capacity of your breath through your rib basket now. And we'll come into some spinal movement through the bridge lifts. So you can place the feet so that they are parallel with each other, about as wide as your hip sockets, and ankles roughly underneath the knees. We'll have the elbows down by our sides. We're going to add a variation that gets a deeper back bend. So you can press down through your feet and lift your hips off of the floor. And then once you have your hips up, you can get a more lift in the chest by rooting your elbows down and lifting the chest higher up in any amount that's comfortable for your back. And then elevate your arms, framing your head with your arms. And your choice, like you might stay here for a few breaths if that feels good, or you can start to descend and just move rhythmically down. So when you exhale, try to stretch your spinal column down one vertebra at a time, and even imagining that you can lower the lower back vertebrae down as well. And then you can reset your arms back by your side, and we'll move like this rhythmically for a few more rounds to loosen up the spinal column and emphasize a little back bend in the middle back area. So your choice, you come up, you lift the hips to deepen the back bend, you root your elbows down, and then raising your arms up. If you need to take them wider, even just take them wider so that the back of the arms rest. When you come down, try to isolate the spinal movement so that you can feel at least each segment of your spine land. Just finding that quality of control as you lower down. And then reset yourself, do another round of this bridge lift. Then once you're down, take a moment and feel your entire spinal column. And we're going to come into our first supported position, and it'll be a back bend, a heart opener. And you have lots of choices how you set yourself up for this one. I'm going to show a couple of versions, and then I'll offer some other ideas as well. So it could be just with one blanket, and you could just fold your blanket something like this, or a deeper heart opener. You could have the blanket going across your mat, and it would just be underneath your heart, and your shoulders would be down, your head will be down, your low back will be down, so it's a bigger back bend. If your back is like it's a little tight, you just did a bunch of gardening, this might aggressively stretching when the muscles are tight can actually have the reverse reaction. The muscles can go into spasm if we hold or too long on something that is already rigidifying and spasming. So if that's the case for you, you could turn it this way, and you would place your low back and your bum on this end, your heart would be on this end, and your shoulders would be down. So the stretch will still be there on the upper body, but it won't be as deep because the lower body is on the same level. And then again, you could make it even more subtle by having the blanket just like this high. So sometimes for some folks, like that's enough. Like if someone is very kyphotic, like this will be a big back opening for them already. Some of us are super, flexible, and another variation would be to roll it and have it go across, and that's going to make it higher and firmer. So you pick the variation that works for your body. I'm going to try it with a roll, and I'm not going to roll it all the way. So there's going to be a little bit of my upper body that's going to be down. So a little back bend over a blanket roll. And then we're going to hang out here for just a couple of minutes. So it's not going to be, like a super long hold. So you can once you've taken a few breaths, make little adjustments so that you are super comfortable. You can increase the stretch, decrease the stretch as you need to. The legs can be the way that I have it, with the knees bent. That's going to give more slack to the back tissues. Or you could have the legs long, or you could do another variation with the feet together and the knees out wide and supporting the knees if you like. So lots of variations with the legs as well. As we stay, the work is to stay with our attention in the rib basket, the heart area, and just feeling the sensations in the space, feeling the quality of the movement of the breath, and allowing ourselves to inquire into the quality of sensation here. So maybe on the inhale, you can sense more expansion through the front. And then on the exhale, you can take your awareness to the back and see if you can get a sense of your back body being able to soften into the pressure, the support. Then after a few breaths like that, start to connect the back and the front body. Take a few more breaths, and this time keep your attention in the back body and see if when you have this quality of feeling like your back is supported, um, does how does that affect the quality of your inhalation? Give yourself 3 more breaths here in this supported heart opener. And you can slowly roll over to one side. And I would pull the blanket out if you're still underneath it so that your back can be just on the floor, neutral. And just be in that C curve for a moment and receive the sensation of your body, of your breath now. And if you can, you don't have to get up. So you can pull the blanket out. Um, and we're going to continue with this exploration through the upper body with some dynamic movement first. So come back onto your back, and you can have so no more blanket underneath us now. And we can open the arms out, and these will be bent feet as wide as the edges of the mat. And then here, we're just gonna move to one side for this exploration. So we'll rotate over to the left side. So we're gonna start with moving the right arm. You can take an inhale, feel your rib basket, and then when you exhale, you can lift your right arm and you can turn your head over to the left. And then when you inhale again, trace an imaginary semicircle above your head with your right fingertips to come back to the right side. If it feels snaggy towards the end, feel free to bend your elbows. So don't force that shoulder. And then we're continuing, just going to this one side. So again, you can exhale, rotate back to the left. You can inhale and explore your shoulder circle or semicircle back to the starting position. And then you could, after a few rounds like that, you can completely do a full circle, just turning over to that left side and then turning back to the starting position. So depending on your shoulder. And then you could also reverse. If you're doing the full circle, you can go up first and then down. So getting a twist into the upper back as well as a movement through that right shoulder. Next time when you're over to the left side, we're going to hang out and try to keep your knees from dropping over so that we're isolating that rotation in that middle back. Stay there and take a couple of breaths into that middle back here with this twist. And then drop your knees over to that left side. Support yourself up. Grab a blanket or maybe two. You decide how much of a side bend you want. We're going to side bend now to this left side to stretch through the rib basket on the right. So you can come down and then we're resting here for a couple of minutes. And you can frame your head with your arms. And as you stay, feeling again that heart area, the expansion of your breath here, and the contraction of your breath on that exhale as well. As you watch your breath, see if you can ascertain if the breath is, the two phases of the breath are about even. If the two phases are, one is predominantly longer than the other, see if you can slow the other one down so that the inhale and the exhale are roughly the same length. Watch your body breathe for 3 more rounds here in side lying. Then you can use your top hand to support yourself out of side lying. And we'll do the whole thing again on the second side. So we'll start with the dynamic movement first. You can remove the blanket. You come back onto your back. You could maybe take a pause first and just check in with yourself. So seeing if you can feel any differences between right and left side. And then we'll do that rotation over to the right side. So when you exhale, you can lift that left arm and rotate your upper body over to the right. And when you inhale, you can trace your semicircle above your head with your left fingertips to arrive back to the starting position. You can do it just in the top half of the circle first, a few times, exhaling, turning, inhaling, shoulder circle, coming back. Then after a few rounds like that, you can add in the full shoulder circle. You can slide the hand all the way down across your body, turn back to your right side. So your choice. How do you want to explore this rotation in your middle back with the rotation in your shoulder? Sometimes if there's a lot of restriction in the shoulder, it might feel better to bend the elbow. So that could be another variation that we use to get a similar movement, but with less um, pain or discomfort through that shoulder. When you're ready, you can arrive into the twist towards your right side. And you can land and stay here for a few breaths. So this side is a lot easier for me. I'm trying to keep my knees up, and I'm taking 3 breaths here into the rib basket. And then you can drop the knees over to the right side. You can support yourself up, and then set yourself up for the side bend on the second side. So um, be open to the possibility that maybe your body wants a different level of support on the second side. Like that might be possible, and that's okay. So come onto your side bend. And so this time, right side is going to be down, left side of your rib basket is going to be up. And you can frame your head. So this will open up the intercostals, those muscles between the ribs that help us with respiration. And there's such a connection between the heart and the diaphragm, right? The heart sits right on top of the diaphragm, and um, the the physical movement of the diaphragm actually helps the heart with its functioning as well. So once you're settled into your side bend, make sure again that your neck, your shoulder are comfortable. And fall into that natural rhythm of your breath. See if you can feel for that quality of your breath, expanding through your tissues, contracting through your tissues. And then your only effort is to even out your the length of your inhalation and your exhalation. So a very soft effort to maybe slow down one of the phases. Usually, for most of us, especially in this position, um, we're going to have to slow down the exhale. Watch your body breathe for 3 more rounds here. And you can use your top arm to slowly support yourself out of the sideline. You're up and sitting. Just take a moment and just check in and notice the whole upper body. We'll do come back to a child's pose. And I especially like this version with the elbows elevated. It helps to deepen the breath into the arms, into the chest. And I actually like it even higher. So I'm gonna support myself a little higher. We won't stay super long, but take a symmetrical shape here for a couple more breaths. Then a variation, if you have the elbows supported and the forehead supported, is bending the elbows and placing the palms together over the head can stretch through the underarms and the shoulders more. We'll slowly come out of the child's pose. And the last restorative before we rest is a forward fold. So I'm going to give us this one suggestion, but you can find your variation. So it's Paschimottanasana, which is the straight leg forward and taking a forward fold here. And for a lot of us, like the hamstrings are a little bit tighter. So I actually like doing it with the knees bent. So you can choose to do it like this too, with the knees bent, and then you can let yourself just curl over your legs and then get your support lined up however whatever you have, and ideally we'd like to have the forehead supported as well, so that can help to quiet the mind. The classical version is with the legs down more, and you can do that as well, but we want to make sure that we're not tucking the pelvis under if we have the legs straight. So you can prop your sit bones up to tilt the pelvis forward so that when you come into the fold, your pelvis isn't tucked under. So for me, I need to be elevated a little bit more than that. So one way to, again, shift that is just by bending the knees. Make yourself comfortable shifting anything that you need to so that you can hold for a couple minutes here. And resting into the awareness of the base of the heart or the back of the heart and your breath there. Once you have connected with that rhythm of your natural breath. You can add in a pause after the exhale. So exhalation practices, according to yoga therapy, help to cultivate the relaxation response, especially if we work on them at a comfortable edge for our breathing. And so you can just watch your natural exhalation, watch it terminate, and then pause after your exhale for about 2 to 3 seconds. So a comfortable amount for your breathing. And then relinquish the control of that pause and step back and see if you can watch your body inhale on its own. See if you can watch your body exhale on its own. And then you're consciously stepping in only in that pause phase, just holding the abdominals a little bit longer than normal so that the diaphragm stays still. And then you release that control so that the diaphragm can move again. It can descend back down. As you cultivate this breath suspension, just being curious and noticing how that feels in your nervous system. If it feels like it's adding more attention, then you know you have to soften the effort a little bit more. If it feels like it's invoking a quality of rest, then continue with that effort that you're doing. So let's do 3 more rounds with this breath suspension. Then let go of all effort. We'll stay for 1 more minute here. When you're ready to, you can slowly unfurl yourself and come out of this forward fold. We are going to come onto the back and make our way towards the last position. So I'm going to suggest doing legs up a chair or an ottoman or the couch to have supported inversion. It could be up the wall as well. But if you are feeling called to do something else as your rest pose, listen to your body and come to a rest pose of our choice. And also, if there's any last minute movements that you want to do before you come into stillness. So maybe you want to do a few rounds of happy baby or knee to chest. We haven't done a lot on the lower body, so you can do some hip circles, getting some movement there into the lower body. And then finding a rest pose of your choice. Wherever you are, see if you can take a position that allows you to put a hand on your heart. So that physical touch also is very soothing for the nervous system. And as you say, just connecting with the natural pace of your breath, the natural movement of your breath in this heart area. Allow your facial muscles to soften, letting go of focusing in the eyes. There's no need to focus anymore. The pupils can ungrip as well as all those muscles that control the eyeballs. The masseter, the jaw muscles can ungrip and relaxing around the ears and temples. Relax the space between the eyebrows, the forehead, and relaxing the scalp as well. Releasing the jaw, the tongue, sides of the neck, the long muscles of the back of the neck from your skull, the occiput, all the way down to your middle back. Can you get a sense of your middle back settling into support more? Can you feel the connection of the breath from the base of your heart, the back of your heart, all the way out towards the front? I'll read an old favorite from Hafez. It's called Deepening the Wonder. Death is a favor to us, but our scales have lost their balance. The impermanence of the body should give us great clarity, deepening the wonder in our senses and eyes of this mysterious existence we share. and are surely just traveling through. If I were in the tavern tonight, Hafez would call for drinks, and as the master poured, I would be reminded that all I know of life and myself is that we are just a mid-air flight of golden wine between his pitcher and his cup. If I were in the tavern tonight, I would buy freely for everyone in this world, because our marriage with the cruel beauty of time and space cannot endure very long. Death is a favor to us, but our minds have lost their balance. The miraculous existence and impermanence of form always makes the illumined ones laugh and sing. Watch your body breathe here for 3 more rounds. Light movement whenever you're ready. At your own pace. You can come onto the side. Give yourself a few breaths on the side body. We'll meet in a comfortable seat so that we can do our mini meditation. Once you're in your seat, just feel your natural breath again and take your awareness to the heart, getting a sense of that expansion of the breath through the front and the back of the heart. And allowing yourself to connect with that quality of resting back into. And take your awareness into your belly, another place of intelligence and intuition in the body. Rest your attention here and just feel your natural breath here. And allow this place to soften and receive that nourishment of your breath. Can you allow any sensation here to arise and be as they are, open and curious? And connecting the two places of intelligence. So as you exhale, you can move your awareness up from the belly to the heart. As you inhale, you can mirror that movement of the breath downward from the heart to the belly. Allowing, as you move your attention up and down between these two places, imagining that increasing the flow of connection, energy between places, intelligence. And then noticing how this connection between heart to belly also informs the entire central line of your body, and allowing this intelligence, this energy to move all the way through the central line of your body. And then the last phase of this meditation is coming back to the heart. And as you inhale, imagine that your inhale expands beyond your body to meet the electromagnetic field of your heart. That field of your heart actually has a presence that's measured, and it, depending on our emotional state and the person, it can go 3, 4 feet beyond the physical body. And it's said that it's one of the ways that we communicate with each other, come into resonance with each other, is through that field of our heart space. So when you inhale, imagine your subtle inhalation growing out to meet that field of your heart. and explore and feel what, what size feels comfortable for me, feels right for me right now. That field goes above and below and all around us. It's a torus shape, kind of like the surface of a donut. When you're ready to, if you have your eyes closed, you can slowly open your eyes and allow the sights of the room to come into you, to inform you. But can you also still sense that heart's field, sense that quality of your heart and your breath? And you can join your hands together at your heart. Take a full breath to heart center. Bow the head to the heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
That was lovely.